Before we get to the interview, everybody, I just want to let you know I'm Dave Bondy, independent journalist. Please help support my independent journalism and click the link down below to join my Substack or my locals community. It's only $5 a month. You can quit at any time. I left the mainstream media in order to keep it real. Candy and Brian, thank you for being here.
Thanks, Dave, for having us.
Thank you. And you have some supporters out there, because someone watching knows about your story and they wanted me to have you on, and you tried working things out with the city and so far nothing's worked. So I want to start from the very beginning. You two you're in mid-Michigan and you're somewhat both entrepreneurs.
That's correct.
Yes.
Our whole life. Yep.
Okay, cool. I'm just starting that world now. It's a little scary. And obviously once we hear your story, it'll be really scary for people.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. So how did you tell us what your idea was and how it came to fruition and that sort of thing? Either one of you can, it doesn't matter.
I'll go ahead and start with that. Approximately a year and a half ago, I started taking some time to look at the medical field. It was after COVID, and we all know that the medical field, many of those folks were rendered heroes for being right at the front of the lines, taking care of a lot of people. Well, now that COVID has become a lesser issue, I have a lot of family that is in the medical field, and I was surprised to learn that they continue to have just grueling demands on them, truly. And it was concerning to me because their whole life is about taking care of others, all of us, really. And so I realized that the medical field was understaffed, and it was a lot broader than I had originally thought. It was medical field consists of mental health workers. It consists of doctors and nurses, surgical technicians, chiropractors. There are all kinds of folks in the medical field, and they have long hours, and they needed a place to go when all these demands were put on them. And currently, the only opportunities they had for lodging have to be short-term rentals or hotels. And so when I realized that mid-Michigan had a lot of demands for housing for the traveling medical field, we started looking together for a building that would kind of support this vision that just started bubbling in our heads. And that vision was to create a space, a very large space, specifically for the traveling medical field, with amenities that they would appreciate and that they would need for their hectic schedule.
Yeah. So, and that's what you did. Brian, you found a building in like, was it a what was it, a house or an old house?
It was 1929. It was built. It was an orphanage. It's all made out of concrete. It's actually, I think they call it a bomb shelter.
Wow.
Pretty safe. It's all concrete walls, like I said. It's in very good shape. A gentleman went in and redid it, and then we just took off from where he left off. It looks nice now.
Yeah, I'll show a picture in just a minute. But what did one of the first things you did, probably you called the city or someone, right, to make sure that you could do what you wanted.
We made several calls, and actually on the way over to sign the papers at the bank, I told Candy, call over, give them the address, tell them what we're going to do. Like to make sure that this is a good thing to do. And she gave them the address. They said it was fine. That's the answer we got every time. And it was our realtor called. We called the gentleman that redid the billing before us. He called, and 3 different people, the same answer.
Oh,
you guys are good to go.
So it wasn't just one call. You made several calls.
Oh yeah, several calls. Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna bring it up now. This is your website, and the pictures. I think just scroll through. This is beautiful. This is nice, and you've spent a lot of money getting this to look like it is. This is nice.
Thank you. Yeah, we're huge into networking. The heart of this has to do with the traveling medical field, but we hired local artists from the Great Lakes Bay region to come in and do murals with just whatever they felt they were compelled to do to kind of promote them and their artistry. And, we collaborated with some other businesses in Bay City to try to pull that together, whether it was, furniture purchases or photography on the walls or catering services. So
Yeah, so it seems perfect, but apparently something happened. You had a grand opening, or right around when you did a ribbon cutting, did you learn some bad news before that? Now look right here, there's a picture. Yeah, here we go. There's ribbon cutting photos. When was this?
that was the ribbon cutting ceremony was January 31st.
Okay, so at that time, you thought everything was good to go, right?
Well, the day before, just the day before the ribbon cutting ceremony, we spoke with somebody who was trying to reach us from City Hall. And I immediately responded because, it was important to us to cross our T's and dot our I's. I went to meet with that individual face to face, though there was a lot to do right before the ribbon cutting ceremony. And that individual from the city in the zoning department said, "Don't worry about it. Get through your open house, and then we'll talk after that."
And then eventually you talked to him.
Oh, the very next day, they let us know there was a huge urgency, and 5 City Hall officials met with us on February 1st.
And then you got bad news.
Yes, they want us to put a sprinkler system in it, and they're talking about putting bathrooms in every room. It's a concrete building. It would just, money wise, you can't afford to do it.
Was there inspections when you're, I don't know. When you buy a house or build a house, they come and inspect it. I'm assuming you had work done. It was probably inspected, right? I don't know how that works.
Yeah, that's correct. There were inspections done. I was told via the previous owners, there were inspections done yearly and then sometimes even monthly, depending on, what was going on in the building. Because again, just know that this building housed souls from 1930 until 2018, I believe.
Wow. Everyone online is commenting. They love this building. Oh, someone knows the building. They love it. That is just wild. Okay, so they want you to add sprinklers. They want you to add this and this and this. And you're probably thinking, you told us we're good to go.
Yeah. And what was her?
She's the community development director.
Yeah, community development director. When I asked her about it, I says, we called and asked you, and you said it was fine. And all she responded to it says, "Well, it must have been a mistake." And that's sort of been a costly mistake, because we wouldn't have bought the building if they would have come in and told us that we need to put sprinklers in it and bathrooms in every room. We would have looked for a different building to do this.
Yeah.
Not this one, but this one sort of fit the bill, and it's nice now. And all we need is them to say it's good to go, that we can open it. We asked for a grandfather to have it grandfathered in, so we wouldn't have to put sprinkler systems in it. And they do not want to work with us on that.
No,
they won't even put it to a vote with the commission or whatever. It sounds like
no.
Wow.
So there's a couple things happening. So we learned that there is definitely some confusion in the city. So we're hoping that if this information gets in front of the right folks, maybe there'll be less confusion. The confusion began upon the first meeting we had, and we had a series of 5 meetings. The first meeting, the second meeting with 5 folks from City Hall. They told us we were zoned in 3 different ways at this very same meeting. Finally, at the end of the last meeting, they decided that we were zoned institutional. And that's important to note, that institutional, according to Bay City ordinances, is kind of vaguely specific, if I will. It has to do with orphanages that we know are not in existence anymore. It has to do with religious groups, fraternities, and there's a hot topic here that I'm done scooting around, and that has to do with housing migrants. This very building, its last use, it was housing some Venezuelan refugees. And if you archive back a little bit, you're going to see some media information on that says there were protests in Bay City. This was the building that was housing those folks, and it is still an option currently.
We don't want to do that, but
yeah. So, so you could have it as a fraternity house if you wanted to, I guess.
Yeah, it was zoned fraternity, but just know that was one of the things that they told us at some of the first meetings. Now they're saying it is only institutional, and so clearly, I mean, we're in our 50s. We're not doing a fraternity.
No,
we wanted to do something great for the community. And I guess I'd kind of like to talk about Bay City for a minute.
Yeah.
Before all this went sideways on us, I was born and raised in mid-Michigan, and in the evenings when I'm done with work, in the last 5 years, there's been exponential growth in Bay City, and I love seeing it. And I had been talking to Brian about, starting up this business over there. And so we really were focusing exclusively on Bay City at the time. And we loved all the buildup that was happening riverfront, but we didn't know that Bay City was only looking at riverfront. And that's why we're here right now. We see so much potential. This building is located right by McLaren Hospital. It's within walking distance. And we've done our research. Bay City, several years ago, was going down a slippery slope. And McLaren came in and bought Bay Medical Center, right?
Okay.
And McLaren really brought money into the town. And I think that's the pivotal point where things started to turn around. And again, we just wanted to be an extension of making sure the medical field was taken care of.
Yeah. So everyone watching right now, and I got people watching, basically they spent a lot of money on this beautiful building to get it ready for medical professionals who might be, for example, if there's, traveling nurses, traveling doctors, and they need a nice place to stay. Well, that's why they did this. So the medical professionals would have a place to stay. You got it all ready, got it ready to go, ready to open the door. And Bay City said, nope, you can't do it. And that's where we're still at, right? You can't do anything with that building.
No, we can't do anything with it.
That's
and it's no occupancy.
And the mortgage and the bills, those haven't stopped.
No, those don't go away.
No, they don't. I mean, look, I'm scrolling this here. You got everything. Like, it's like you have a resort, you have workout gear, everything that they could want. And people in the medical profession, someone just commented on my link and said, should have done it in Saginaw. Well, I don't know what their government, it would be much better, but everyone seems they love the building. So where do we stand now? Are we at a crossroads with the city? Are you learning anything from the city that can be done, or are you at just a dead end?
Right now, we're working with an attorney. And as for the city, we went to try to get help, and it's like running into a brick wall
every time.
We're just hoping that somebody is watching this and knows the right people to talk to that can give us a hand, because we'd really appreciate it.
Yeah. I want to say too that, obviously this was devastating to learn. And I reached out to every single person I could think of on our behalf. I reached out to our county commissioner. He did attend one of those initial meetings. I reached out to the city manager. I have not gotten any response from her. I reached out to the mayor in Bay City. I've had 2 great conversations with her, but I
Okay.
will say, yeah, they were great conversations. But I will say, in summary, her advice, well, I won't say her advice. I will say in summary that she said she really doesn't understand why this is happening to us.
And that's the mayor, who's supposed to be one of the lead official in the city, you would think.
Yeah, exactly. So then we went bigger than that, and we reached out to our senator.
Oh.
And I got an email response from her office saying that they're looking into it further. And I also reached out to our governor's office, including the Go Global Michigan initiative. And I have yet to hear back from our governor's office.
Exactly. I'm reading the comments. Someone just said, you would think it would be a good thing for Bay City. Seems like the people running things are not seeing that. Yeah, I mean, so many times you have controversies. I mean, like if someone wants to open a rehab facility or something like that, you're talking, excuse me, housing professional people who it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't.
So I guess now, I mean, you're losing money on this. Something needs to happen, because I'm assuming you can't hold on to this like this is like it is, because it's just a waste of. It's a waste.
It is a waste. We have a building that you can't use.
Yeah. And we're just common folk, you know, honestly. We don't bathe in money. So we really wanted this to happen. We have a heart of compassion for the traveling medical field. And I don't want this place to be confused with a short-term rental place or a hotel, because what we do is we honor all work contracts. So that means there's a defining start and a defining end. And sometimes, as the medical field knows, that start and end time changes a little bit. We would want to honor all work contracts. And the amenities there, I mean, we have room darkening shades in every room. I mean, blackout shades, because sometimes, you know, they work in the middle of the night and they need to sleep during the day. The structure of this building is so amazing that it's quiet throughout the whole building. That's something they need too. And then all the other areas where they can know that they can be pampered, you know, it's all there for them free of charge.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. So I don't know if anyone's watching from Bay City or wherever you're from. Talk to your city officials, because someone just said, could you do a private membership? I'm not sure what that means. Like a private club maybe, but I don't think that would probably work. Because they're pretty set on what they want to do. But I thought they could like take it to the city commission, do a vote, grandfather you in, or they never even took this. It sounds like they didn't even seriously consider adjusting or helping, right?
Yeah, they said we could spend a lot more money and we could ask for a variance. We have to file the application, which is costly, and then wait and, you know, just see. But they said, but that does not solve the other issue where they want to take a historical building and really change the whole character of it by somehow altering every single room. And I want to make mention, there's 18 private rooms in this building, and we already have approximately,
there's 10 right now.
We have approximately 10 bathrooms already in the building. They want us to add 18 more. By the time, if we could afford all the changes that they are telling us we have to do, it would, and we completed those to make a subfloor and a sub ceiling, I'm sure by then we'd be in violation for room sizes at that point.
And yeah, well, and you can't trust that. I mean, why would you spend more money if they could flip flop their answer on something?
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to pin them down on a solid answer.
Yeah.
They don't really. And another thing, every time we go in there, they keep saying that, well, this is a new concept, this is a new idea. Do you know anybody else that's done this? Because we really don't know how to do this. Well, it's new, so figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, figure it out. You're trying to do something good for the community.
Right.
It should be a no-brainer. Okay, well, I will put this out there everywhere, and I'll be praying for you, and I wish for the best. Please message me back if you hear anything. And if anyone has any questions, is there an email on your website? Like if someone has questions and wanting to help you for some reason, is there an email on here?
Yes, there is. Our email is
There it is.
close to our business name. It's office@myshortstay.solutions. Office.
Oh, there it is, right there.
myshortstay.solutions.
Okay, because there may be people who can offer legal, financial. I'm not, you never know. So I will put that out there. I'll put that out there as well for people. But hopefully someone can help you because you're just trying to do something good. That's really comes down to,
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll let you go. Please update me, and I'm going to send this out everywhere.
Okay. Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, Dave.